we're here again. Today I'll be demonstrating cornbread for you, and first I need to get my pan. This is what I make it in. So as you can see on your recipe, usually there is 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of cornmeal, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of sea salt, half a cup of oil or melted margarine, a 1/4 cup of any kind of sweetener you like, whether it's sugar, raw sugar, or honey. I'm using honey today, and soy milk. So we're gonna just mix all of that together. It's a super easy recipe, but it's my favorite food in the whole wide world. So I could eat this every day, 3 times a day, all that.
And you don't know when you taste it how good it is.
Today I'm using gluten-free flour, but you can use any flour. This is just what we like to use at home. I buy it from Walmart. It's made by Pillsbury, but you can get all different kinds in different places. Ingalls sells it, you know, different Kroger sells.
Regular flour.
I'm not sure about almond flour. I've never tried almond flour, but this is the actual, you know, gluten-free kind of all-purpose flour that they sell. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that the recipe, I alter it slightly when I'm using gluten-free flour, but this recipe is for using regular flour. So you can use all-purpose, you can use whole wheat, you can use whatever you like. But gluten-free flour is very dense, so I don't quite use as much. So I will be using 1.5 cups of gluten-free flour instead of 2. So if you would like to write that in on your recipe, but if you're gonna use regular flour, it's exactly as it appears on your recipe, okay? I had to learn that by trial and error, because when I first started making it, it was like super, I don't know, the texture was strange. So I had to kind of play around with it. So I'm just gonna make this like half, approximately. Okay. The other thing I do, because again, I am not a foodie, but when it comes to cornbread texture, I am. Now flavor, I'm not, because I don't care. It doesn't matter. It can be sweet cornbread, it can be not sweet. I don't care. I just love cornbread. But because of the texture, I use corn flour. Instead of cornmeal, I use corn flour, which is very finely ground.
So what's the difference?
It's just finely ground. It feels and looks more like flour in texture than cornmeal. You know, cornmeal's kind of gritty a little bit, but corn flour is very fine, very finely. I don't know how to, I ordered this from online, but if you have a high-speed mixer, you could probably grind some. But it makes a difference when you're making the cornmeal. And this is only because the reason why I ordered this is because in stores, a lot of stores, you can't find organic cornmeal. So, and when you do find it, it's a very, I put too much in there. It's a very rough texture, like roughly ground. Not like if you bought, you know, I don't know what the brand name cornmeals are. If you buy the brand name cornmeal, it's fine, but it's not organic. So that's the problem. So that's why I order what I need. And I've just found that the corn flour, it rises lighter because it's finely ground. Yeah. So, and since I'm not using like an egg and stuff like that, it really helps to improve the texture.
So you don't use any flaxseed or anything?
No flaxseed.
Because I'm using brown flaxseed in mine.
Yeah. What I actually did was I took years ago, I took the recipe from off of the cornmeal box, and I just veganized it, and that's what I use. So this is the baking powder, and I'm just going in order on the recipe.
So if you have self-rising flour, do you use the baking soda? No.
No, it already has.
Okay.
However, I don't use that because it usually has baking soda in it,
Okay, soda.
and I prefer to use baking powder. Okay, this is the sea salt, and this is the other change I make to my recipe if I'm using gluten-free flour. It needs more salt. So you'll see it was half a teaspoon, but I put more into this recipe. All right, so those were all of the dry ingredients. So I'm just going to mix it up really well. Those of you who bake, you know how it goes. Mix all the dry ingredients, and then you add in the wet ingredients. So just until you don't see anything white, everything is all kind of mixed together and everything's yellow, because that's most of what's in here is cornmeal.
Corn flour, why do you choose to use organic as opposed to regular?
Organic corn, because corn is one of the main huge GMO crops that we have in the United States. And we all know genetically modified crops are not good. They cause many health problems. So if I'm using anything corn related, like cornstarch, grits, cornmeal, or corn flour, I try to get it organic, because the organic corn products are not GMO. So yes, thank you for asking that. I didn't think to explain. Okay, now I'm ready for my wet ingredients. The first one is the oil. Now, I do not purposely use olive oil in cornbread because you can taste it. I think in regular bread it's not the same, but in cornbread you can kind of taste that olive. But I mean, maybe light olive oil might work. I'm not sure, but I just use regular oil. So I'm just gonna put the half cup of oil in there. If you use margarine, it makes it even richer, a richer flavor. If you melt that and want to use it, okay? And then I'm gonna go straight to the milk. The recipe calls for 3 cups, and I normally, you guys can't see my bowl, can you? I normally just kind of
Go with half the
eyeball, yeah, the texture of the mixture once I add the milk. So I'll add, this is 2 cups, I'll add it and stir it in with everything, and then see. I'm using the West Soy unsweetened plain organic soy milk. The only ingredients in here are soy, or the ingredients, soy
And that's another GMO.
and water. Yes, but this uses organic soybeans and water. Any plant milk. But this is the one I'm using today. So, okay, let me pour this in, just like that. And we'll see how it's looking. You can also use a mixture for this. I know I grew up where we put our cornmeal batter, cornbread batter in a mixer, but I usually just stir it up. And
Yeah, 3 cups looked like a lot to me, so.
yeah, it sounds like a lot, but it isn't, because it also contributes to the lightness of the end product. It almost is like pancake batter when you finish. It's thinner than you would think, but then when it bakes up, it's very light. So, and that I'm dealing with today, like I said, with the gluten-free flour, and now how I'm mixing it up is pretty thick. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that last cup of the 3 cups, And then I'll probably need a little bit more than that, but we'll see what it looks like once I mix it. We eat cornbread for breakfast with mashed up in milk with a little bit of honey on it. Cornmeal mush. I'm telling you. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, this seems like it's a good consistency. That was corn casserole.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Okay. This seems like it might do.
Is it the same
Okay.
process? The corn
So
casserole?
no, it has other ingredients. Like you use soy yogurt in there, and that's the only liquid, really. So, yeah. So this seems like it's pretty good. You can see the texture of it. It's more like like I said, a pancake batter kind of thing, and that's what we want. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my pan ready. Oh, that thing keeps falling off. Okay, and my skillet, I'm gonna spray it all around. Make sure nothing sticks in there. And now I'm ready to pour it in. If you want to, you can actually let this sit for, a minute, 5 minutes or so, to let it kind of start rising before you put it in the oven, or you could just go ahead and put it in. You may notice I haven't added the honey yet. I don't know if anybody noticed that. I make it both ways, but my family tends to like it when I just drizzle the honey once I poured it in the pan. But you could also just add it to the batter when you're making it. But what happens when you drizzle the honey, it ends up caramelizing the bottom of the cornbread. So it's really, really nice. You just get, and I don't measure it, by the way. I just kind of put a measurement just in case anybody needed one, but I just drizzled it on top. And it's on top now, but after it bakes, the honey ends up on the bottom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet that'd be good.
Yeah. So that's it. That is my cornbread recipe, and I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in the oven. I hope the thing doesn't go off. I'll open it. And then wait 20 or 25 minutes. I'll check it and see if it's done, and then we can try it afterwards. Does anyone have any questions?
425.
At 425. I had preheated the oven before I started, so.